Hey guys, this is OracleDaphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do a video on what's going to come next. What can we expect? Mercury is stationing direct today. The sun just moved into the sign of Aries, and there's all these other planets that are in Aries right now. So there's a lot of really strong forward momentum energy. There's a lot of strong like get up and go energy. New beginnings, fresh starts. I kind of just wanted to see like what was going to come through, lay out a spread, and this is for the collective. So you might resonate with this now, but you might resonate with it later. Just to preface, there's other readers that read not as much with regards to time. So the way I read is I read and there's specific times and things that have yet to come to pass. So the intention is to look at future energies. So some people may resonate with it in this moment, but you might not until later. And quite frankly, most of my readings I'll look back on later and it'll resonate with me 5 years later. So I'm also specifically reading the Celtic Cross, which has cards about time. And so for those of you who watch other readers and are trying to like resonate with stuff like at this moment, you might not. Okay. In fact, some of you, it's actually going to be where you don't resonate with it until later. So later in time. But yeah, so I'm looking at future energies and I'm just looking to see, okay, like what can we expect from a Mercury station direct? What blessings are coming through? What are the messages? And just kind of jump in. So I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who supported my work. If you'd like to support me, you can donate using PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or Zelle. Those are in the description box. All the links, and I usually put the links to donate in the comments as well. So, for many of you who watched me for a really long time, I've tried to get my monetization back for like 5 years now. It's been a long haul. And so my view count is actually lower than it should be because I don't have Google ads on my content, which makes it all free. So I appreciate all donations and, all likes and subscribes are super helpful. So let's jump in. So one of the things I noticed is that we have this star in the center and the high priestess in the center. So to me, this is like a spotlight on you. So some of you may be pulling your energy back during this period of time. Some of you may be going, okay, like I'm not going to be focused so much on this external. I call the world external, people in our environment. This could be family, this could be friends, it could be just anybody who you meet. This is maybe pulling back from social media for some of you, but this is a lack of focus or a need to like detach from the external and focus more on yourself, daily routines, self-care routines, pulling your energy back. That is a very big message, and it's not surprising because we have so many planets in Aries right now. So, Aries is the self, so some of you just really needing to maybe do a little bit of journaling, maybe, kind of go a little bit inward and try to figure out like what direction you want to take things. If there's any things that you wanted to start, this would be a good time to start planning ahead. Maybe make a list of like all the things that you need to get done and, go down the list. I do see a lot of people, this gets sound strange, like getting rid of stuff. This is a time to, for some of you, you're going to want to purge. Maybe this is spring cleaning. But it's just sort of like getting rid of like maybe some negative energies. For some of you, shutting down relationships that are no longer working. For some of you, this is just like going through your stuff, getting rid of things that you don't need or don't want. I also see some of you needing to spend more time outside. I see like the high priestess has all this twigs and leaves around her. And so I feel like some of you are going to be need to spend time outside, but going and spending more time outside. And I feel like it's very helpful, especially in the springtime when a lot of us have been inside more and cooped up more. So some of you, you're going to be getting like back into like maybe an exercise routine. Or for some of you, like maybe you're going to go for walks more. You're going to do more outside. For some of you, get back into maybe landscaping or, planting a few spring bulbs, whatever it is that you're doing. I feel like there's an outdoor vibe here. For some of you, it's going on a long hike. For some of you, maybe this is planning, to do some kind of, I don't know, maybe like a group hike or group like camping trip, or like something where you're like, it's an outdoor activity. Maybe it's like a group of climbers going climbing on like Mount Everest or something. That's kind of extreme, but I do see, like, just to me, it's like a maybe more group activities. For some of you, maybe joining a running group, or it doesn't even have to be outside, but I definitely see outside in this reading. I do also want to look at these cards, because these cards to me show like a financial blessing coming in for you. This is a cash tree card here. So, and to me, this is being lifted up out of hardship. So this is something coming through at a time when maybe you're not sure how you're going to pay your bills, or coming through at a time when, you need a helping hand or to be lifted up. I also feel like, and I want to say, this might be two separate instances where some of you, maybe you have like an increase of money somehow and it lifts you up. But I also feel like this can also be a supportive influence as far as like a friend or somebody in your life that's giving you maybe words of confirmation, maybe like a boost of confidence, or like just someone who cares about you. I feel like there's this energy of caring and nurturing that's coming in, which I love to see. And I feel like that energy is going to boost you up in some regard. So it's not just financial related. And my guides are confirming this. I feel like it's a strong feminine energy, but it doesn't have to be. It feels very feminine. It feels very nurturing. It feels like this can be someone who's really like looking out for you, wanting the best for you. And in life, I have to tell you, from personal experience, people can say that they want the best for us, but then when we're, SOL, they don't come through. And so this is what I'm seeing here is actually a person who does really care about you. And it's interesting because not everybody who shows up in that position or that place of caring actually cares. And you'll find out, maybe this is a time where you're thinking, okay, like, maybe of expanding maybe your friend group, or you're looking at, your social life and maybe wanting to do more in your social life, or you're examining your relationships as far as like who's showing up for you and who's, boosting you up and making you feel good, and, giving you a hug, and, just being supportive. And I feel like this is strong actual support from other people, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's them showing up, in a kind way for you in whatever aspect it is. This to me is also, I feel like it's a strong miracle energy. There's a miracle energy to it. So this is something that you might not see coming. This is in the position of what's coming through. And so from the outside, a lot of times we don't see this coming for ourselves. So some of you, you're going to be seeing some kind of miracle or some kind of upliftment happening in your life that comes through. Now, that being said, I don't really know what to make of the Three of Swords here coming after that. It feels like there's a lot of, from your perspective, maybe a lot of grief or something that's come through, or upset that's come through that may be separate from this. So for example, okay, so like I bumped into this beautiful woman the other day who had asked me how I'm doing, and she gave me a hug, and she was just super, super kind to me. And at the same time, I'm also grieving the loss of somebody in my personal life. So I have to say that this may be two separate things. And some of you may be going through something similar where, you have days where it's like you feel supported, or maybe there is support coming in for you, but at the same time you're grieving. Maybe you're grieving the loss of a pet. For some of you, you might be grieving the loss of a friend or a family member. Could be a death in the family where you're learning somebody's past already. And I feel like to me, this is the Three of Swords in this position feels like it's a loss that you've already learned about. So it's something that you're carrying. So maybe it's some kind of heartbreak. For some of you, this is like heartbreak from a divorce or breakup, or somebody that's really been hurtful in some regard. Yeah, because we have the Strength card here. This could be a friend that was really, really hurtful, and things that maybe you're dealing with as far as like, I don't know, just to me, it has a lot of strong like player energy where, somebody what didn't really treat you right. Maybe they took your friendship for granted. Maybe they showed up in kind of like a dramatic kind of way only when it was like self-serving for them. I don't necessarily like this energy, but I feel like there might be amends made from this type of person. The 501's person is a person who really likes the chase. They don't like it when you're there. They're very much an avoidant personality. So like this is a person that maybe you've cut off and you've said, okay, I don't really want to talk to you anymore. And like I feel like they're coming in hot is what I want to say. Okay, they're coming in hot. And I don't feel like you can trust this person. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel like you can trust this person, whoever this is. I feel like this is a masculine energy. The feminine is over here. The Queen of Swords is coming here, and the Queen of Swords is someone who's just like, not, to me, the Queen of Swords is not necessarily always a person. To me, it represents also distrust. So I don't feel like you can trust that person, whatever the situation may be. Let me see what else Mercury has in store for people. I definitely feel, okay, so like Mercury direct, I feel like actually doesn't carry as much heaviness as the last 3 weeks have been. So for some of you, you're going to feel lighter. My guides already showed me that. Like I already feel kind of lighter. There's a heaviness, a denseness to this Mercury in Pisces, retrograde in Pisces that we're coming out of. And the lightness of Aries, which is the Fool, is got like a spring in their step and like a song in their heart. And for some of you, you're going to want to listen to more music. For some of you, you're going to get back into hobbies that maybe you haven't done for a while. Like I said, for some of you, you're going to be going outside more. You're going to be maybe doing walking more, going to the gym more. You're going to be picking up things that maybe you dropped, or things that you weren't interested in doing. For some of you, you're going to get your sex drive back. Okay. You're going to feel like you've got some mojo here because we have the Ten of Cups coming in. I feel like there's also a strong career revitalization for some of you. Maybe this is business. Maybe for some of you that have needed, a change in your job or change in your career in some regard. I feel like you're going to find a job. If you haven't found a job, if you've been looking for one, I feel like you're going to find one. For many of you, you might actually consider starting your own business. But I also see positive developments in business. Those of you who are in business, very positive. The only thing that I'm going to say is that this is a time to really analyze or kind of just go through your own process and understand sometimes you're your own worst enemy and sometimes your emotions can block. That's the only real thing here. So for some of you, you're going to want to go to see your counselor more, or call the crisis line more, or schedule with a therapist more, or do more self-care so that you're not necessarily in a place of being so bogged down by your emotions that you're not able to see the blessings in your life. Make sure you're doing your gratitude notes during this period of time. Make sure you're saying, thank you to God and the angels in the universe for blessing you with all the things that you have. That it's something that's coming through strongly here. For some of you, you're kind of trying to figure out like what your next steps are going to be. I feel like in some way there's like a chaotic kind of element to, all of this Aries energy. And so some of you may at times feel like you need to take a pause or a break. For some of you, you may be thinking or overthinking a lot of your next steps. It's interesting. The Strength card, she's been standing on this bridge for so long. She's like her clothes are threadbare. Okay. Many of you, you're going to be overhauling your wardrobe. All of this Aries energy, I have to tell you, I have never known an Aries who did not have the biggest clothes closet I've ever seen. Okay. So generally in Aries, especially Aries females, they have a closet full of clothes. They have shoes, they have makeup, they have everything you could possibly want as far as beauty items. So this is a time for some of you, you're going to be looking at your beauty and like what you're doing for your, beauty routines and hair care and nail care. And just like for some of you specifically, it's wardrobe. Like it's clothes, it's going shopping. It's, really, I want to say just looking at the past from a different perspective. I feel like in some way this is a perspective shift with the Mercury no longer being in retrograde and going direct. I feel like it is for some of you, it's going to be like night and day. I'm seeing this, the sun come in here and it's like night and day. You see that? It's like very, very strong. So for some of you, you're going to feel that this energy either gives you a boost, but for some of you, it's almost like you might be overproductive, or you might feel like such a boost that you don't know, like kind of scattered, like you don't know what to do first. Just start and just kind of go easy into things and try not to fire off too many rounds. My guys said it's funny. It's really funny because Aries is a fire sign, and there is a lot of stuff, turmoil going on in the world, which is a very fiery energy. And so for some of you, you might be kind of drawn into arguments and drama and things like that during this time, which is unavoidable, but just kind of try to think that through before you kind of go too headlong into the fray. Okay, because there's a lot of fray coming up here. It's a little bit of chop. That's what I want to say. A little chop. It's not too terrible, honestly. I was expecting for this spread to be totally like different, okay, and like I was gonna say totally like much worse. So I'm actually really happy to see that these energies are shifting into lighter energies, even if they have more fire to them, even if there's a little bit more of a zip, and you might not hold your tongue and you might say things you regret, but who cares? We're no longer bogged down with the Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces. No. So onwards and upwards here is what I want to say. I feel like for some of you, there's traps to avoid in the things that you're doing, but at the same time, I don't know, like I kind of want to tell you just to go out and have fun. I want to tell you to just go out and let your hair down and tell you to live it up and not care. For some of you, you're going to be putting in some really strong boundaries with the people in your life. I feel like strong boundaries, saying no to things, being like, yeah, no, we're going no contact. Yeah, no, I'm not going to participate in this. Yeah, no, like it's a hard no. For some of you, you're going to be really firm. Like it's almost like protecting your peace kind of energy, protecting your peace, protecting your fun, protecting your joy. For some of you, we have the Four of Wands here, and that's jumping for joy. There's something that's going to come through where you are going to jump and you're going to shriek and you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Something's going to bring you joy. And for some of you, it is financial, okay, because it's connecting to this Ace of Pentacles here. This is upliftment and joy. For some of you, it's financial. It's more money than you're expecting. It could be a lump sum. It could be a payout. It could be something that you've expected for a long time but hasn't come through. There's all kinds of things that take a long time. With the, I will say, because the Mercury, it was retrograde in Pisces, it pushed a lot of things back. So for some of you, this is overdue stuff. So let's just say you were expecting to get a chunk of change in February and it didn't come in March. It would come during this next period of time. We are looking at, I'm recording towards the end of March. So this could be end of March, early April. I wanted to say April for some of you. I'm seeing the number 4. So that's April. And I do feel like, the joy here though is not just necessarily connected to finances, although for some of you, you're going to have more money to work with is what I'm seeing. You're going to have more to work with. When you have more money to work with, you aren't just thinking about bills, and you're not just thinking about okay, I have to just put one step in front of the other. This is this is going out with friends, going out with family, hanging out with people. This is doing more for others. This is donating to places. You can do a lot with money when you have it, I have to say. So for some of you, you're going to be doing a lot of good things with it. That's what I see. But the joy has to do with you having things to look forward to in your life. The joy has to do with personal joy, personal pride, things that bring you joy, things that make you happy, things that bring you a sense of, I don't know, peace or satisfaction in life. Like, so it's not just like your everyday, meal, it's a special meal. Or for some of you, like a long awaited pregnancy that you're experiencing, or something that you've really wanted that's coming through here. This is what I want to say. I do feel for many of you, this is getting what you want. So for many of you, that's the joy. You're getting something that you wanted, and it's either coming from through a friend for some of you, or it could come through a financial, there's something financial here with it. I don't know what it could. I wanted to say donation, but it might not be a donation. It could be anything financial. There's all kinds of things that can come through after the fact, all kinds of settlements that can come through after the fact, small settlements from all kinds of class action things that are going on. You can get things from disability. You can get things from people that owe you money. There's all kinds of places and things that could come through that might bring you some joy, that you're going to jump. You are going to jump. It's going to be really interesting to see how that transpires. And I'm really happy for you to see this. In general, I'm really happy. And we have this moment of joy here. It might not just be one thing too. It could be several things. I'm seeing, this is a 4 of Wands. I was going to say the number 3 is coming through very strongly. You could have 3 situations or 3 different things that come through. I'm seeing the 3 birds here. 3 or 4 different instances which bring you joy. Maybe it's not, you get something positive that happens, and good things come in 3s. So for some of you, it's a momentum that maybe we haven't seen because Mercury was retrograde in Pisces. Now it's direct, and we have all this Aries energy, and it's lovely to see, is what I want to say. I have to end here. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys all the best. Definitely hang on to your joy. Look for the joy in your life. Definitely hang on to peace. And I wish you guys all the best. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye, guys.